Hello everybody and welcome back. We are here for week 34 of the Altered Index 2025 challenge. This is the challenge that I'm running in my Facebook group and of course here on my channel. Each week I am altering an index card and I have a set prompt for each week. You can get this prompt list from my Ko-fi shop. I have a link tree down in the description. If you click on that link, you'll be able to hop on over to my Ko-fi. And in the shop you can actually search. So if you search index rather than going through all the freebies and things that I have in there, if you type in index you'll get this year's list. You can also get last year's list if you're interested in that as well. But as I said, we are on week 34. The prompt this week is elephants. So I have got some bits ready. I printed out a couple of pictures of elephants. Absolutely love elephants. I think they're just so cute, so adorable. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. I haven't decided. I think I quite like this one. But yeah, so I'm going to have my elephant on there, and I was thinking for the background of making it kind of a savannah type background. So I'm going to have like a dark brown at the bottom, and then I'm going to kind of gradually ease it out. So I've then got pumpkin spice, which is kind of again a browny orange, and then I've got fossilized amber, which is where I'm going to finish at the top. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping as well, and I've got some embossing ink, and I'm going to do a little bit of embossing and playing around with that as well. So let's get started. So I think the first thing I want to do is do some stamping with my embossing powder, just because it resists the ink, so it's going to create a cool effect. So I've got a couple of rubber stamps. This one's got all different circles on. This one's just got different typed letters. I do like ones that have different kind of words and handwriting and things on there. So I'm going to start with that. So I've got my index card ready. So the first thing I want to do is obviously stamp around. And I'm going to use a clear embossing powder. That's what I've got in this tub here. And as I said, it's just going to create a resist. So I think I'm going to use some of these circles first. I don't know if this has an orientation. It might do. But I'm just going to stamp it in the ink first. Just checking that was even still sticky, because it's been a while since I've used this one actually. I'm just going to do a little bit down here, I think. A little bit there. I'm going to do some up at the top here. That's it. And then I think I'm going to have a bit more down on this side. Okay, like that. Right, I'm going to do the same with this alphabet one. So I'm just going to again pop it in to the ink. Just do bits of that here and there as well. Like so. Right, so now I'm going to put on my powder. So as I said, this is a clear powder, and what I might do, I'm going to open up my list, pop that in there, because that can catch any bits that I don't use. I'm just going to sprinkle on where I need it. Just make sure I've covered all of those places. I'm going to carefully, whoops, pick this up, give it a little tap. And you might not be able to see very well on camera, but we have the powder on there. I'm just going to wipe away any areas that I don't particularly want, or ones that I think work very well. So I'm just using my finger for that. Okay, and then tip this back into the pot. Wonderful. I'm going to close that before I end up knocking that over. Right, I'm now going to heat set this. I'm going to speed this bit up just because it gets very noisy with my heat gun. Okay, so now that that is embossed, now I appreciate that you probably can't see it too well because obviously it is a clear embossing powder. The embossing ink is tinted, so you do have a slight tint to it, but it's not very bright. But I am obviously going to be inking over this now anyway. So as I said, I've got different colours. So I've got the ground espresso, which I'm going to start with at the bottom, and then I'm going to just slowly make my way up with the pumpkin spice up until the yellow of the fossilised amber. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a watercolour effect. So I've got these water pens which I'm going to use. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the ground espresso down onto my glass mat. Now the lovely thing about a glass mat is that obviously I can wipe it clean. Oops, so I'm just going to take the lid off and I'm going to just push out a little bit of water. And then I can use this along the bottom. Now the nice thing about this is that it obviously then resists against the inking that we've just done. Not the inking, sorry, the embossing. Just going to put a little bit more ink down. Just to kind of make it a little bit darker down at the bottom. That just gives a really cool effect, I think, where you've got the resist happening. Okay, I'm just going to grab some kitchen tissue just to kind of dab some of that off as well. Right, so I've done a bit of brown. I'm now going to come in, I think, with the pumpkin spice, and I am just going to kind of mix it in with the brown that I've got as well. As you can see, not being precious about, you know, painting properly or anything. I'm just kind of blending it through. Okay. Right, and then I'm going to add some, whoops, fossilised amber. A little bit of the brown can come up in this corner here. Okay, so we've got a bit of that as the base. Okay, I'm just going to dab that off. Okay, and then going to, let's first of all mop that up. But now I've got that as a base, I'm going to just ink blend over the top a little bit in some areas. So going with the darkest one first. But it then just adds to the colour that we've already put down. So that's the brown. Then we're going to add some, what was next? Pumpkin spice. I just want to add, sorry, just a bit more brown up here. Then we'll go with the pumpkin spice. And then I'm going to finish off with a little bit of the fossilised amber. Whoops, in that corner again. Let's put the lid on that one. Okay, something like that. Okay, now I've got a little bit of white there. I quite like that because I think it reminds me of the kind of sun, bright sun kind of bursting through. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Just going to clean up this desk very, very quickly. Right, and then I'm going to give this a quick blast with my heat gun. Again, I'm going to put it on silent and speed it up, but just to dry that off a little bit before we do the next thing. Right, okay, so now that we've got that, I want to bring in the circle one again, and I want to have it kind of up here. So let's have a look at our elephants. So I've got this one, or I've got this one. I really like this one. I think I'm going to definitely go with that one. Yeah, so I want this circle to kind of go up here. I am going to do it in black this time, but I also want to stamp it off so it's not so dark. So I'm going to stamp it out on a pad first. Pop it on there. So this is obviously a 3rd generation stamp now because I've stamped it twice on the pad, and then it's coming onto here. Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted. So I don't want it too dark, but what I really liked about this stamp is I thought that it looked a little bit like a thought bubble. So I'm going to have my elephant thinking, so I kind of want to draw around it now, and obviously we need to add a sentiment as well. So now that that has been stamped out, I need a pen, and I'm going to kind of draw around it just so that the thought bubble part of it really stands out. So it is going to be a little bit sketchy, which is obviously fine. I'm just going to go back and forth a couple of times. It's supposed to look a little bit kind of doodlish. And obviously it is a little bit bumpy because I've got that embossing on there as well. But when I saw it, I thought it looked like a thought bubble. So I thought, oh, this would be brilliant because elephants are supposed to have good memories, good brains. So I thought it could be thinking. And my sentiment is going to go then inside the thought bubble. So as I said, I'm just making it look a little bit kind of sketchy. I realise some of this you're not going to see anyway because obviously our elephant's there, but I'm going to do it everywhere anyway. Okay, like so. So there's the thought bubble. And my elephant's going to go there. And then inside, I was thinking of having an elephant never forgets. And I have gold in here. I'm going to see how that looks first. This is one of those embossing label makers. So I'm going to see how it looks in gold. If it doesn't look right, then I'll do it in black. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for an elephant never forgets. Okay, so there we have it. An elephant never forgets. So let's see how this is going to look on here. I'm just going to grab my scissors to be able to obviously chop it down. And I'm going to split it up into individual words. Okay, like so. Now, those two bits I don't want, so let's see how this is going to look. Oh, it might be okay actually. I wasn't sure how it would look in the gold, but I think it might be okay. An elephant never forgets. Oops, you have to be a bit higher. And elephant never forgets. It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it, when they're always curved? I'm just trying to think how else, as I move him over slightly, my elephant. Something like that. An elephant never forgets, maybe something like that. Yep, I actually quite like it in the gold. I wasn't sure at first, but I quite like it. Right, let's get him stuck down. Okay, so we wanted him maybe a little bit higher. Okay, and then I think what I might do with him, same as what I've done with the thought bubble, I'm just going to go roughly round him a little bit. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit rough, I'm going to make it look a little bit kind of sketchy. I just think it gives him a little bit of definition on here as well. Because obviously he's the main feature. The prompt is elephant. Now, I know I could have just simply inked around him, but I think this is just as effective. Like I said, I'm just going around roughly just to make it look, again, a little bit kind of sketchy and doodly. Yep, I think that'll do. Right, so that's him done. So an elephant never forgets. So we want elephant up here. I'll do that one first just because this is the longest one. I'm just going to peel those off. So elephant. I'm going to do these two first actually, and then I'll put Anne on last. Yeah. The only thing with it is this then becomes so kind of static it sticks to you. gets. Oh, can't seem to peel it off now. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's it. So an elephant never forgets. Ah! Put a spot of glue on that one. That one didn't seem to want to stick at all. I'm just going to hold that down for a second just to really make sure that that does stick. Okay. An elephant never forgets. Right, I'm just going to grab my dabber. I think I'm just going to very lightly just go around that edge. Oh, that one's still popping off. Right, I'm going to hold on to that a bit longer. There we go. Okay, so an elephant never forgets. So this was my Altered Index 2025 challenge for week 34. The prompt was elephants. I think that's turned out really, really nice. I love it when you have the embossed background because it adds a really nice resist and a great effect to the background. And yeah, I actually think the gold writing looks really, really nice. It goes nicely with the browns and things that we've used in here as well. And of course, star of the show, we've got that gorgeous elephant on there as well. Well, thank you so much for watching today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. That really helps out my channel. Feel free to drop me a comment as well. I really enjoy reading and responding to those. If you're looking for some more inspiration, head on over to the Non-Stop Papercrafts Facebook group. There are lots of people taking part in this challenge, so you'll be able to see all of their inspirational cards as well. If you are not already a subscriber, I would really love for you to do so. Please make sure that you also click that bell button because then you'll be notified of any new crafty videos. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.